I got a video uploading, and then I wanted to make this one. There's another thought that came to me when I was on my break. You know, it's pretty much this simple. If you are judgmental, I need to understand how you can classify, if you carry a judgmental characteristic within you. Now, granted, we're all human. We all live by sinful nature, right? And judging, assuming, all these things are about with human nature, right? That's where you have your dark and your light, your ebb and your flow, and it's learning how to kind of coexist with your dark and your light, right? And find that duality within you. But there's people in the world that live to judge others. And outside and out in public and how they portray themselves, they portray themselves completely different, right? I've met numerous amounts of people like that, and it's mind-boggling to me. It really is, right? And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not, and sometimes some of the people I see and I hear and things that have been done to me, and I'm just like, it's like, I don't ever judge them. I'm more just like in question of like, really? Really? Do you see yourself? Do you see how you're acting? Do you see what you're saying? Do you see what you're projecting? It's never like, oh, look at them, or like, oh, like, no, or I'm better than, or no, never. I don't think none of that. None of that. Never once. Never once do I ever think that. I'm more taken back of like, golly, what's broken about them to make them do that? Something's broken. Because people, when you're broken, you project, you redirect, you don't take accountability, you play the victim mentality, you play the blame game. Like, it's all, I mean, when you're broken and unhealed, that's all you do. It really is. And again, I know that. I was there too. You know, but even before my spiritual awakening and my healing and all these things, never, I mean, I just really haven't. You know, I just haven't. My mind, I wish that they could come in and take a little look-see in my mind, because it is very interesting how my mind operates. I just don't think about a lot of stuff. It's really, I really don't. I'm just more amazed by a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to things I know, and I'm just like, wow, I hear it, God. But you can't classify yourself as a spiritualist, as a Christian, as a religious person, as a good person, as whatever, if you find yourself on the fence where you feel like you need to humble other people, you feel like you're above people, you judge people, you lie on people, you do smear campaigns, and then you go along with the smear campaigns and you get the whole entire community involved with it. And then the entire community's like, let's go. Let's go. Where do we sign up? Where do we sign up? I'm in. Let's go. I mean, I really do feel that way in different ways. Dating back to like June, July of 2023 with a whole with a soccer family. And mind you, my son had done travel soccer he started when he was 7 years old. So we had been doing travel soccer for like 7 years at that point, 6 years. So this was like our soccer family. And they completely changed in a drop of a hat. Yeah, I remember those conversations. I do. I remember the Gulfport tournament. Yep, I remember that. Guys. Thanks for that. Right? You know, and it's like, it's just crazy to me, because it's like, what the heck? It's mind-boggling to me. It really is. But it came to me. It's like, yeah, if you find yourself on the fence where you're, you know, judging, and when you're throwing all these stones and you think you know the story. But let me ask you this. If the story you were presented was true, why do you think they had you do all those things to me? And I'm not talking about my soccer community. I'm talking about my soccer community, my family, my son, my friends, my workplaces, like everything inside my life. If the story you were presented was true, why did they have to go to these lengths to have all of it corroborate to fit their narrative? Why? If the story you were provided was true. And second more, why didn't they just ask me to do a lie detector test? I thought about that today. I'm like, what? Why haven't we just rolled that bad boy out? Right? Why? Why haven't we done that? I mean, these are questions that I would ask. If I was on that side of the fence and I was presented all these different things, right? And so-and-so and so-and-so, so-and-so did all this stuff, right? That you say, right? I'd be like, okay, where's the evidence on that? Why are we going at it in this angle? Something about that's peculiar. Because what you're saying isn't aligned with what I've seen out of this person all the years that I've known them. This doesn't make sense. Now, are they broken? Absolutely. Are they fighting battles that we see? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. With the addictions and alcohol and stuff like that. But 90% of them are battling the same thing. You know, they don't say it out loud, but they are. Straight up. That's all in the closet. But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, these are just all nuggets that I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, what? Why? You know, things that make you go, It's an interesting concept to think about and so it really just puts things in perspective for me, because I'm like, dang, I really had everybody inside my life that really just fucking hated me. Really, straight up. They wanted to see me 10 feet under. They really did. Could you imagine living in a world where every single person inside your world wants you 10 feet under, but presents to you like they love you unconditionally, but they're planning your demise in the back? Every single person. Not one page has been unturned with that. Not one. Inside my community, my family, my friends, my work atmospheres, every single one. But not one person, not one, has said anything to me to my face. Not one. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. And I'm thinking in my head, well, golly, what do they know about me? What do I possess in myself for them to come at me at these great lengths? Well, I'll tell you what. I got God. I do indeed. And you can't take that away from me. That's one thing you can't take, is what I got residing in me, is God. And you should have God residing in you, and he is there inside of you. But instead, you're making all these other choices and doing all these crazy ass things. Excuse my French, sorry, but anyways, little nuggets, food for thought, story time. But yeah, that came to me today, a little free thinking moment. Things that make you go, These are questions I would have asked. I don't give a crap who they are, what agency they are, secret XYZ, how much money they were going to pay me. I would have never done it. Never. Not even looked twice. I would have never. And every person in my life knows that's true. Knows it. Because why? I walk on morals, values, integrity, ethics. And I always have. I always have. Closest to possible. I'm not perfect, but I do have a moral compass. And I've always had a moral compass. It's pretty much ingrained in you, I think. But the world takes you down these crazy roads where you lose sight of your moral compass. And then people go a little hairy. They start making hairy decisions. It's like, what happened to your moral compass? You're born with a moral compass. You really are. No matter how you're raised, you still have a moral compass. You really do. And then for some reason, we lose sight of it. Well, I'll tell you what the reason is: money. It's all about money. Greed, insurance fraud, all kinds of craziness. All kinds of craziness. That's all it's for. It's like, golly, man, if y'all wanted the money, you could have just taken it. You could have just taken it. Now you're running out of money. I mean, you got yourself in a pickle. You got yourself in a pickle. You did it for the money, and now you ain't got no money. That's why you don't do things for money. You definitely don't do things for money like that. You don't do things for money like that. I mean, come on, people. I shouldn't even have to say these things out loud. But what people do for money is crazy. Freaking insane. I like to work hard for my money. I like to work hard for pennies. I like to be a part of the blue collar. I'm here for it. I don't mind the system, but I will fight the system. 100%.